He kept it jogging at the same pace it had always moved.
Cologne infused Old Spice with notes of cashmere and vanilla wood.
He rented
I
modestly,
can't wait till people
avoided locking
realize I can
himself
go
into a mortgage
live,
too early,
Lord.
and treated his signing bonus like it belonged to a future version of himself, rather than the guy standing there today. Fixed expenses stayed low on purpose, which is rare for a first-round pick who knows the money is already guaranteed. The details are what make this story stick. During off-seasons, Wilkins flew commercial budget airlines like Frontier, blending in with families and college kids instead of slipping through private terminals. Teammates noticed he wasn't chasing car culture either. No supercar rotations, no attention-grabbing purchases, just reliable transportation that did its job and stayed out of the spotlight.
You can't be
Even
talking
food became a
freaky.
strategy. He spent heavily on team facilities and cooked when possible, not because he couldn't afford delivery, but because convenient spending quietly trains bad habits. What makes all of this believable is that it didn't start in the NFL.
Whatever, you
At
don't
Clemson, Wilkins biked to
You
class,
want to go live?
worked as a substitute teacher for about $80 a day, and stretched free drink packets into homemade lemonade instead of buying bottled drinks. Those weren't desperate moves.
Now, one
They were
person,
efficiency
where?
moves. The same mindset followed him
Where's
straight into
everybody at?
professional
I
football.
think I don't got.
Wilkins understood
Damn.
something early that many players
I
learn
think
later.
like half of my screen
Wealth
open
doesn't
so I
disappear
get
because
1,000
income drops. It disappears
subscribers.
because expenses refuse to come down.
Yeah, welcome to
By
the
never letting
podcast.
those expenses
Remember
rise in
to
the first
support
place,
me,
he built a buffer most players don't even realize they need. And while Wilkins quietly protected his money by limiting access to lifestyle creep, the next guy on this list took that idea one step further and handed the keys to someone he trusted more than himself. Number 9, Darius Hayward-Bay. The top 10 pick who put his mom on payroll.
Damn.
Darius Hayward-Bay entered the league at full speed. 7th overall pick in 2009. National spotlight, Raiders expectations, and a rookie contract worth roughly $23 million before he could legally rent a car without extra fees. For most players, that combination turns spending into reflex. But for Hayward-Bay, it triggered a decision that would shape his entire financial life. He handed control to his mother. Not symbolically or casually, but structurally. His mom, who was a certified accountant, managed the money while he lived on a monthly allowance. Big purchases required review. Savings and investments were discussed like quarterly reports. Even his spending patterns were tracked. In a league where autonomy often equals temptation, Hayward
Well, I got one
replaced
person
freedom with
looking.
guardrails.
I
And
think
that
that's your
discipline showed
man.
up everywhere. During his playing years, there were no viral luxury purchases, no public jewelry collections, and absolutely no flashy real estate moves. Teammates described his lifestyle as calm, normal,
Oh no, that's
almost
somebody
boring,
else.
which for a
Hey,
top 10
y'all.
pick in the NFL is actually impressive.
Whatever.
And here's a particular story that
Come
sums
on
it
now, I can't
perfectly.
get on live.
During one NFL season, he decided to cancel cable because
Hi,
he
everybody
realized he was
doing
barely going to
tonight.
watch it. That decision didn't save much money, but it revealed his modest thought process. Every recurring expense had to justify its existence. If it didn't add value, it didn't stay. Hayward-Bay also
Yeah, I
avoided
wanna
the
see what
social
I'm
traps
watching.
that quietly drain players. Nightlife expectations, expensive travel habits, and the pressure to look like money. Instead, he focused on longevity and stability, both on the field and off it. By the time he retired after 9 seasons and roughly $35 million in career earnings, he wasn't scrambling for a second act or selling a cautionary tale. He had margin, clarity, and peace. And while his system relied on family oversight, the next great player on our list built his discipline internally, turning structure into a personal operating code. Number 8, Glover Quinn, the undrafted player who let math do the talking. Glover Quinn's financial story begins with uncertainty. Undrafted in 2009, he entered the NFL without guarantees, without hype, and without the illusion that football owed him anything. That awareness never left him, even as his career stretched across 10 seasons and more than $40 million in earnings.
That's true, babe.
Healthy Choice Simply Steamers grilled chicken and rice.
Yeah.
It's my takeout sauce.
So we sitting here watching what that was again, babe.
At Strayer, you can earn your degree affordably.
They showing all the NFLs that That's cheap. You might as well see.
Right from the get-go,
These are
Quinn lived
all
by
the
a simple
NFL
rule.
players that are
Spend
very
30%,
cheap.
store 70. Housing, transportation, daily life, everything had to fit inside that 30. The rest moved automatically
How
into
everybody's
savings and
doing
investments
tonight?
before he had a chance to think about it. Over time, that habit turned discipline into muscle memory. While his contracts grew, his lifestyle barely budged. At one point, Quinn lived on about $6,000 a month
Oh my
while
God,
earning
is
millions
that it?
annually. He drove the same Yukon Denali he bought early in
Oh
his
my
career.
God, now
even
that what you
after
call
signing
cheap,
a
y'all.
$23.5
He
million
was cheap.
deal with the Lions.
He cheap.
In locker rooms, teammates joked about how cheap he was. Quinn didn't argue.
Who knew
He
about
understood that
that?
every dollar not spent was a dollar that could buy freedom later. What separates Quinn from many disciplined savers is intention. He majored in business and treated football income as startup capital rather than lottery winnings. Early investments went into public markets and retirement vehicles. Later, he expanded into private ventures.
He did what?
By the time he retired, Quinn publicly stated that his investment portfolio
okay.
had grown larger than his total
So he
NFL
cheaper than
earnings.
Ocho.
Instead of chasing status, Glover Quinn chased
Oh, that's
optionality,
good though.
the ability to walk away healthy, solvent, and unbothered. Football paid him well, but investing paid him longer. And as this list continues, you'll see how that same mindset shows up in even more unexpected places.
Let's go. I heard
Frank
that.
Gore,
Frank Gore.
the running back, who treated his body and his money like a long-term contract.
Damn.
Here's a simple reality check. Running backs aren't supposed to last. They burn bright, get hit 1,000 times, and usually fade out before the league even finishes learning their name. Now keep that in mind while I tell you Frank Gore played 16 seasons at the most punishing position in football and somehow came out the other side financially intact. That alone should make you lean in. Frank Gore entered the NFL in 2005 as a third-round pick, which meant no instant superstar treatment and no pressure to pretend he was something he wasn't. He ran like his career depended on it, because it did. And that same mentality quietly shaped how he lived off the field. While other players chase the lifestyle that comes with early fame, Gore treated football like a trade. Show up, do the work, take care of your tools, and don't blow tomorrow chasing today. And the tools part matters.
Nightcap came out
Instead of
tonight.
funneling money into flashy purchases, Gore invested heavily in his own longevity. Training staff, conditioning
Who
routines,
be watching
recovery
Nightcaps?
methods. These weren't luxuries to
Who
him.
like
They
watching
were
Nightcap,
extensions
y'all?
of
That's
his
in the
job.
chat. What's up, Chad?
Every extra season he squeezed
Well,
out of his
Uncle
body
Ocho.
meant another contract, another year of earnings, another layer of financial insulation. That's not luck. That's math. What's interesting is
What's
what
up,
you didn't
Chad?
see. Gore was never the face of luxury brands or viral car collections. His homes, including properties in South Florida, leaned toward family practicality rather than celebrity theater. He kept deep ties to Miami, pouring time and money back into youth football programs and community projects instead of turning his life into a highlight reel of spending.
Hi, everybody
And
doing
that's the real
tonight. Thank
twist.
y'all for tuning
Gore's
in on my
version of
channel.
wealth wasn't loud because it
I know
didn't
it's
need to be.
late.
His status
I'm
came from
glad I got
durability,
somebody
not
coming
display.
in so y'all can finally
While
get
other
some
running backs flamed out early and scrambled to protect what was left, Gore calmly stacked seasons,
Yes,
yards,
he
and paychecks until he landed among the all-time greats. 16 years, one of the top rushers in history, a life that never spun out of control. Frank Gore didn't just outrun defenders, he outran the financial traps that catch most players at his position. And then there's the next guy, who did the exact opposite of staying quiet while still spending like he was allergic to wasting
Y'all know
money.
this man is cheap.
Number 6, Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco. The loudest guy in the room who spent like a minimalist. Chad Johnson has never been subtle about anything. His roots, his celebrations, his personality. So when people hear he's one of the most frugal stars of his
Y'all
era,
think
it
Chad
sounds like a setup
Ocho
for a joke.
Cinco cheap, y'all?
But that's exactly
Cause
why
that's
the
what this
story
show's
works.
talking about.
The man talked like a rock star and lived
They
like
say this
someone who
man is
hated
super cheap.
unnecessary bills. Ocho Cinco entered the league in 2001 and quickly became must-watch television. Pro Bowls, touchdowns,
I know
end
they
zone
say he
antics,
sponsor,
the whole
he
thing.
own half of
But behind
McDonald's.
the scenes, his spending habits looked
Damn.
nothing like his on-field persona. Early in his career,
I know
he
he's
famously
the
lived inside
co-host
the Bengals
with
stadium,
Shannon Sharp,
using the locker room, cafeteria, and team facilities instead of
and I know he
renting
played
apartments.
for the Bengals.
No rent,
Is
no
I'm right,
utilities,
babe?
no nonsense. Just efficiency disguised as madness. He's openly said he saved over 80% of his NFL earnings. And when you look at how he lived, that number stops sounding exaggerated. He delayed buying a home. He leased practical cars instead of buying expensive ones outright. He flew commercial, grabbed deals when possible, and treated money like a scoreboard he wanted to run up quietly. And then there's the jewelry thing, which might be the most Chad Johnson move ever. While other players wore diamonds worth more than houses, he rocked costume jewelry from mall stores, proudly telling people it cost him $20. Not because he couldn't afford better, but because he enjoyed flipping expectations on their head.
Smart.
It was frugality with a sense of humor. What really matters is what came after football. Johnson didn't disappear financially once the check stopped. He invested in McDonald's franchises, built steady income streams, and stayed culturally relevant without torching his savings trying to stay flashy. Yes, he splurged on meaningful moments, like an expensive engagement ring. But those were choices, not habits. Chad Johnson proves you don't have to look broke to live smart. And you don't have to live smart quietly.
What's up,
He
Chad?
turned financial discipline
I
into
can't wait
part
to
of the
get to know
performance.
everybody. I will be going
And while
live
Chad makes
tomorrow.
frugality entertaining, the next
Yes,
name
I
on this list
do
takes things
DJ,
somewhere
so
deeper,
tomorrow I'm gonna
where
get on
money
here
becomes a tool for
and
changing
just
other
do a
people's
little
lives.
something with y'all.
Number 5.
So
Warwick
if
Dunn,
you ain't
the
already,
superstar who used
could you
his money
please
to rewrite
subscribe to
someone
me,
else's
so
story.
y'all could,
Warwick
you know,
Dunn's approach
tune
to
in when
wealth
your girl
feels
get on
different the
here,
moment
ready
you
to,
hear it,
you know,
because it
listen
never
to
revolved around
other
himself.
music, as in,
From the start,
I like to
his
play New
mindset
Orleans
wasn't
bounce
about how much he
music,
could
so
keep. It was about
I
how much
might
he
get
could
on
do
here
with
and
what
check
football
with
gave
y'all
him.
and, you know, we listen to some
Drafted
new
12th
music.
overall in 1997, Dunn carved out a long, respected career with the Buccaneers and Falcons, earning over $60 million along the way. He easily could have lived large and nobody would have blinked. Instead, he lived
So don't
intentionally,
forget y'all,
keeping his personal lifestyle
excuse
simple,
me,
while
subscribe
quietly building one of the most impactful
to
charitable
your
legacies
girl.
in professional sports.
And tomorrow,
In
you know,
2002,
we gonna be,
Dunn founded
we gonna
Warwick
kick
Dunn Charities,
Mhm.
and this wasn't some vague
Good
give
night.
back initiative. His Homes for the Holidays program